We back and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J Lake. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J Lake.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.
All right, man, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the 2-Hour Lunch Break Podcast, a podcast for Austin, from Austin. I'm your host, Trot with Zeus, and today we got a guest who truly represents what it means to live at the intersection of culture, community, and creativity. Says she's an open format DJ, MC, motivational speaker, and community powerhouse right here in Austin. Born in Mexico and raised in Texas, she brings a sound rooted in hip-hop, funk, jazz, and Latino culture, blending genres in a way that feels both intentional and unapologetic. She's performed everywhere from ACL to national stages, and she's also recognized as one of Austin's top businesswomen. Most recently, she became the official DJ for all the weddings on season 19 of Married at First Sight, airing on Peacock and streaming on HBO. But beyond the turntables, she's also a motivational speaker, podcaster, and advocate, using her voice to empower women, LGBTQIA+ youth, and immigrant communities to live authentically and boldly. Today, we're talking about her journey from immigration and identity to Austin, to national platforms, and to what's next. Please welcome to the show. We got the homie DJ KICKIT in the building, man. How are you doing today?
Beep, 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 beep. Hey. Let's go. God, I need to take you everywhere with me.
Yeah, man.
Who am I? There you go. Just press play and you just say who I am.
Yeah,
I love that.
You know.
I'm feeling amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well,
it's 2026, man.
Right. Shout out to the new year.
Yeah.
So number one, I know we talked about this off air. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to pull up. I know you're a woman of many talents. You got a lot of pots on the stove, so thank you for coming through.
I appreciate that.
So now that we got you here, right? Let's go ahead and talk about your background, right?
Okay.
So the name, DJ KICKIT.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me the story behind the DJ KICKIT name and where that comes from.
Yeah. One of my favorite hip hop groups of all time, Tribe Called Quest. I love Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
And I'm also a former drummer. Okay. And so initially, I wanted to be just a hip hop DJ. I wanted to be a turntablist. I wanted to be on every stage out there doing my thing. Okay. And so I self-titled DJ KICKIT from Can I Kick It? And it also comes from, like I said, a previous drummer, so talking about kicks, and then it's like, I love shoes. So it just, all three, it just fit. Gotcha. And I was really close a few years back to actually changing it, because I'm like, that sounds corny and da-da-da.
What were you thinking?
I had no idea.
Okay.
I was just like, I don't know if this really fits me. And after talking to a bunch of people, they're like, no, we're already used to calling you Kick It. So it just stayed. So
yeah, man. People
DJ Kick It.
They locked you in at that one, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, all right, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, don't change it. I'm leaving it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also, still talking about your background, like we were saying earlier, you were born in Mexico, but you grew up in San Antonio, right? Talk about that story. What was that experience like? And how was what prompted you and your family to come from Mexico to the States?
Yeah, I was 2 years old when my parents decided to move from Mexico to San Antonio. And from 2 to 6, my parents were still in between countries.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like, do we stay? Do we leave? Like, it was rough.
Right.
And, if you think about it, like, pick any country that you don't know the language and you move there, you don't know anybody, much less speak the language, and you're like, okay, is this really for me? And the spots where my parents were able to afford, I mean, I'm talking like housing, but we stuck it out, and we decided to stay, and I'm grateful that they decided to stay, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here doing the things that I love, from a drummer to an athlete, a former boxer, now a DJ. Like, I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful that we did not move back. I love home, but there was a certain stereotype that I had to fit. And who I am naturally would not fit that. So I'm grateful to be here.
Gotcha.
And yeah, San Antonio, Houston, San Antonio, and now I'm here.
Right,
So,
right. I was
yeah.
gonna say, do you still go back to Mexico every now and then? Or?
Not as much as I would like to because
Okay.
of my busy schedule, but I try to make it a point to go at least once a year because
Gotcha.
Facebook interactions with family can only go so far.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. So I'm curious as like, so as a you know, born and raised American, right? So
Yeah.
what is, for, you know, coming from Mexico, what is something that, you know, people have misconstrued, or, you know, something that people don't know about Mexico that, you know, that was a part of like your upbringing?
Yeah, we're hustlers. We're hustlers.
Okay.
And I don't say that lightly. You know, I was listening to a podcast recently. It was like a self-help motivational podcast, and it was comparing, you know, privilege that people have in the States versus the immigrant mentality. And I learned hustling early on from my parents. I mean, my parents would push me in a stroller as a 2-year-old, knocking door to door on the west side of San Antonio, asking for work instead of waiting for handouts, for government assistance, etc. And my dad cleaning houses, went to go work with him since 8. My mom, you know, doing the same thing. And we're hustlers. We try to make it work. They came to this country just like any other immigrant for a better life. Right. Granted, there's some bad apples and all that, but that's what we do. We're hustlers. We figure it out. We find a way to make it happen. And that I still do that to this day.
There we go. There we go. So I know you had said a minute ago, you had gone kind of like back and forth between Houston and San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
So after all that going back and forth, what prompted you to come to Austin and, you know, kind of plant roots?
Yeah. It was a corporate job. I had a job. I had a banking job in San Antonio. I was really good at what I did, and I got sought after on LinkedIn. Company here in Austin reached out to me and said, "Hey, you know, we have an opportunity, but it would mean you have to move your whole life out here." So I talked to my wife. We had just gotten married like a month before, and I was like,
Okay.
What do you think?" And so we talked about it.
Right.
Here I am, and 2023, unfortunately, that job did come to an end, along with many other tech jobs. And this is what I do now. I had to really turn up that hustler mentality, and here I am.
Gotcha. So I'm curious, right? So, you know, coming from San Antonio and Houston and spending time there and then coming to Austin, what were like some of like the biggest like cultural, you know, things? Like what was the adjustment like coming to Austin full time?
Yeah. So with Austin, one of the biggest things that I love about Austin is that everybody is themselves.
Okay.
So when you go to San Antonio, and I don't mean to knock San Antonio because it's still home, right? But San Antonio is a city with the small town feel. I feel like the city musically, culturally still has a lot of room to grow.
Okay.
Versus Austin, nobody cares. Everybody's here.
True.
We've got spaces like Dawa. Shout out to my homie TK. She had built Las Ofrendas in that community. Everywhere you go, everybody's just themselves.
Gotcha.
When I lived in Houston, that was a big culture shock. So I'm going to be real with you. So San Antonio is mostly Hispanic.
Right.
When I went to Houston, I went to an HBCU. And so I got to learn a lot about the culture there.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always loved about Houston is that they were always ahead musically. And so I feel blessed to have lived and live now in all those cities. But Austin's home. Austin has embraced me, has shown me so much love. I love it here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So when you were new in Austin, right? So what was like the hardest part of like breaking into the DJ and music scene out here?
Not knowing anybody. But I have to give a big shout out to my homie DJ Zetrock. I love you, brother. Man, I reached out to him. He was actually opening for Talib Kweli. He is actually the DJ for Shaka and his wife for Riders of the Storm. And I reached out to him via DM. And I said, hey, I see you're DJing here. I love Talib, so I'm going to go to the show. Can I just come by and say hello? And he embraced me with open arms.
Okay.
Back home in San Antonio, you couldn't get that.
Gotcha.
And so it was just honestly like navigating, reaching out to people that I don't know, just say, hey, can I come support you? You just never know how people are going to treat you. And because of him, like it gave me more confidence to just put myself out there. Can I come support you? Can I come check you out at your event? And everybody, for the most part, has been super welcoming.
Like networking, building that community.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So I know, kind of shifting gears and talking about like your music origin story, right? So I know earlier you were talking about, you had spent some time being a drummer. But in addition to that, you also spent time as like a violinist, right? A rapper.
My God,
with all those different, all those different chapters. How did all of those different experiences kind of train your ear as a DJ?
Yeah, I mean, you learn a different music theory on each instrument. So when I first started in music, I actually wanted to play the saxophone. I loved The Simpsons. I wanted to be a little Lisa Simpson.
Okay.
But the music instructor told me, you have little lungs. Like, well, dang, So then we tried trumpet. He said, same thing. You need to have bigger lungs. And he's like, here's this. He just gave me 2 drumsticks. Try this out.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. I did the violin to appease my parents because I was a violinist in church.
Right.
And I sucked at it. Like if everybody was going this way, I was going this way. I was just a 4th grader, just like, but it taught me, how to read music from a different instrumental perspective.
Gotcha.
And so now as a DJ, now I'm listening to not just the rhythms, but also the different pitches, the different tones, vocals, what would go well with this music, with this genre. So I have fun with it.
Okay.
And I take a little bit of everything that I've learned since I was this tall and I apply it to DJ now. Gotcha.
So I know earlier you shouted out a Tribe Called Quest is like a big influence musically, right?
Yeah.
What did they give you that you didn't really get any, from anywhere else musically?
I think it was their uniqueness. Not only just looking at them, like if you think about that time in history, right, in the early 90s, late 80s, you never saw anybody like them, like the way they dressed and then even the way they rap. You compare them to like LL Cool J, Run DMC, their cadence was just very different. And then the things they spoke about too, the sampling that they did. I had seen the Tribe Called Quest. I think it was I can't believe the name of the movie left me, but it's their documentary, and just learning how Q-Tip picked his samples and how he was able to blend that. Like you didn't hear that back then. True. And so and this is why groups like them, they are still relevant today. Right. Their stuff is classic. Yeah. And so listening to them, I'm like, man, this is super cool. This is very different.
Right.
Gotcha.
I love that. So, okay. So kind of, digging into like the nuts and bolts of like, your experience as a DJ, right? Walk us through like your prep. Like, what does that look like, like before like a big gig or like a big wedding or a festival event or something like that? Like, do you have to like dig through some crates beforehand? Do you check your cues? Do you make notes, like routines? What does that look like?
Yeah, all of that. Okay. Prepping for, let's say, a branding show. Like I DJ for Premier Beauty Show. So that's a traveling beauty expo. So with them, I don't prepare as tedious as I would as a wedding, but there's still like new songs that come out. I try to look for remixes. I try to think about what other songs would sound good, and I just brain dump. Gotcha. But as opposed to a wedding, that's way more tedious. There's conversations that I already have with the couple. Tell me about your music style. What are your do not playlist tracks, artists, genres, etc. And then from there, I start to break things down in folders. Like what is their intro song? What is their first dance song? Give me an inspo playlist. And then from there, I just start adding. So it takes me a while to prep for the weddings because this is also the person's most important day. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you have all of that prepared. So yeah, it's all of that you mentioned.
Okay. So and I'm curious, and this is kind of me going off topic a little bit, right? So
yeah.
I know you've done wedding. I know you DJ for weddings before. Have you ever like ran into like any bridezilla?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything like that? How was that been like?
Absolutely. I've even ran into groomzillas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so this is where the professional mindset comes in, right? Because as a DJ, like I'm here to entertain y'all. I'm here to make sure everybody has a good time. Right. But if they're not having a good time because of something that is out of your control, you just have to take it with a grain of salt, be a professional about it, and just say, well, what can I do to help you? Or what can I do to make this better? Or in your head, like, man, what are some songs that are going to get her out of her funk? Let me take a look at what she sent me. Right. I've had weddings where there's been a family issue out of my control. I just try to make it the best I can.
Gotcha.
So absolutely. It's just being a professional about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So, I know, open format DJs like really have to pivot fast in a lot of cases, during a set, right?
Yeah.
with that said, what's your like decision making process look like in like a live moment? Like, say for instance, somebody might, bump into your setup, or there might be a fight, or just like you were saying, there's a family issue.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure you got to keep it light. What is that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? If it's a fight, then clearly, I mean, getting the attention of security, letting them do their job,
Right.
and you just keep playing because there's still a group of people that are having a good time.
Yeah.
And same thing with the speaker bumping, it's just letting them know, hey, watch out, but let me scoot y'all this way or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Gotcha.
But the number one group of people that I play for are women. And not because I'm LGBTQ,
Right.
it's because women are the first ones to dance. If
True.
they're dancing, they'll pull their man or whoever they're with to pull the dance, etc.
Right.
Kids are always going to
Smart.
dance. They don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm always looking at who's dancing, who's not dancing, what else can I do to include you? And so that's where the open format, your music knowledge comes in. Like me, I don't like country, sorry.
Right.
I don't like country, but I know that if the older folks are sitting down, I know I might have to mix in a few slower songs.
Okay.
And then brings them up. And so that's how you kind of make everybody feel included.
Got it.
You know what I
Got
mean?
it. There we go. So I know you've done, countless gigs. You've done, festival crowds. We talked about weddings. You've done a little bit of everything, right? With all those different gigs you've done, right? What's a gig that taught you like the most? Not necessarily like the biggest gig, but like the most educational, right?
Yeah.
Like what's the one that stands out for you?
Weddings. Weddings teach you a lot.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, right, like if I've played on 6th Street, I've played at many clubs.
Right.
I've also played themed events. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just we're just playing all Selena or we're playing only 90s hip hop or whatever. But it's the weddings that really teach you how to DJ a room for everybody. You talking about getting grandparents to dance. You talk about making sure the couples dance. You talk about making sure the bridesmaids, the groomsmen dance. You making sure everybody in that room has a little bit of dance floor time,
Right.
or at least having a good time. So then how do you do that versus a bunch of girls that are at the club getting drunk dancing to, Cardi B and all that?
Yeah.
Cool. But when you're at a wedding, like, you really have to play for everybody.
Right.
And then plus on top of that, it's not just the DJing piece, it's also the coordinating. You're multitasking. You're having to introduce people, working with the planners. It's a lot of different pieces. So weddings will definitely elevate you.
It'll definitely stretch you for sure.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious though, like outside of the DJing part, I know there's also like some emceeing involved too.
Yeah.
During your set, like how do you balance that? Like how do you decide when to talk and when to let the music like speak?
Yeah. Well, it's also event based. So I know I mentioned that I DJ for like premiere beauty shows. So there I don't do a lot of emceeing.
Okay.
Because it's a beauty show.
Right.
It's not about me. It's about the barbers, the makeup artists, the hairstylists, etc.
Gotcha.
If I'm at a wedding, at a club, any other event, one of my two DJs that I look up to a lot in terms of emceeing is Kid Capri.
Okay.
And Funk Master Flex.
Okay.
Now, Funk Master Flex, yes, he gets carried away with drop the bombs on him. I'm not doing that. But his bravado, like he's super confident. And Kid Capri, same thing. So I've studied these guys since I was little. And so what I do, this is a little gem drop for the DJs out there, is I interact with the crowd in a way that's gonna get them hype. So let's say we're playing an R&B song and I'm like, and what do you say? Whatever. I get so whatever. I try to sing along with them, but not too much.
Okay.
Something that's gonna elevate the moment.
Right.
And then sometimes you just gotta let the music speak. But Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex are the two guys that I paid attention to a lot.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So shifting gears a little bit, right? So let's talk about Married at First Sight.
Man.
Right? So number one, congrats, because that's a
Thank
hell of an
you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Right? So, of course, you're the official DJ for, all the weddings in season 19.
Yeah.
Right? So how did that opportunity even come about? Because you rarely hear about like getting on and DJing for a show.
Yeah. It started at a bar.
Okay.
Then a wedding, and then the show. I was DJing at Lulu's. Shout out to the team out there in Lulu's in South Austin. But I was DJing out there. It was just happy hour. And this lady comes up to me. She says, hey, I love your style. Love what you're playing. Do you do weddings? I said, absolutely. She was like, let me get your card. My daughter's getting married in a few months, and we're still looking for a DJ. Cool.
Okay.
Fast forward, we did the wedding. Everybody had a good time. They were wild. I'm talking like beer chugging, backflipping, like they
Hey,
were
turned up.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, do it. I loved it.
Okay.
And so a few weeks later, I hit them up just to say, hey, thank you so much. Leave me a review, blah, blah, blah. And she said, man, so one thing I didn't tell you is my mom is a producer for a big show out of LA. They're actually going to be filming in Austin, and they're actively looking for DJs.
Okay.
And we both said you would be the perfect person. Are you okay if I give the producers your phone number? And I was like, sure. I had no idea what kind of show this was.
Right.
All I heard was LA big show, and I was like, sure, let's talk about it, right? So they called me and they said, yeah, we're filming season 19, Married at First Sight in Austin, Texas, and we're looking for a DJ to do all the weddings. I was like, say less.
Right.
And that's how I got on the show.
Hey, there we go. So, okay. Right. So that's such a niche opportunity, because like I was saying earlier, you don't really hear about that side of like television shows, right?
Yeah.
What was your reaction like when you realized like the scale and visibility of it though?
I was like, that was my face. Mind you, I was having lunch with my wife, and I had them on speakerphone. I was just like,
Yeah.
you hearing this?
Right.
Yeah, I was shocked. And my wife was like, you better do it. I was like, all right, well, send it over. I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm like, yeah, send me the contract. Let's take a look, and I'll get back to you. Okay, well, please let us know by blah, blah, blah in a day. And I was just like, what the hell?
Right.
That was my initial reaction. And I was like, man, I don't know what this could mean, but the fact that somebody believed in me to put me on, that right there, and so sure enough, I was super excited about it. I walked in and did my thing,
Gotcha.
And I will say that DJing the weddings for a TV show is not what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What's the differences between that and like a regular wedding?
It's a lot of direction.
Okay.
It's a lot of stop and go.
Okay.
You don't necessarily get to play. You don't get to necessarily DJ.
Okay.
They give you very small windows to DJ because they want to get the reaction from people dancing and stuff like that. Because if you think about it in the show, if you've ever watched the show, there's conversations that are happening that are happening. So I have to keep the music this low.
Yeah, you can't.
And
really
it's weird because when you go to a
Yeah.
wedding, the music is loud.
Right.
So it's that. It's a lot of stop and go. Like cut. Okay, now we want to break everybody apart and have different dialogue. Okay, DJ, now play the regular music. So now I'm playing top 40 stuff. Okay, DJ, cut. Now, so it's a lot of stop and go. But it was cool. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So with all that going, the stopping and going, like, how do you actually build like a vibe during that? Is it just kind of
You have like 5 minutes.
You just got to make the best of it?
Yes. So I'm talking playing 10 songs in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And so having that in the back of your head, like, what are the songs that I'm going to play to get people dancing? So you go into, like, for me, I go into a folder that I have that's like dance floor songs that work in every wedding. Pitbull, Earth, Wind, and Fire, like all the things. So you're just like boom, 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 boom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how have like the opportunities changed since you got that? Like, have like the bookends and expectations and audiences and all that like kind of escalated since then?
A little bit,
Okay.
because still people don't know you. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But what's cool is I'm starting to get more DMs, more messages from people saying you have a very different voice. You have a unique voice. And I feel like I just heard you on TV.
Yeah.
Is this you? And I'm like, yes. So that's super cool to hear that. It's awesome. But now I get to put that on my resume.
Gotcha. That's amazing.
So
man.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So outside of the DJing, right? You also do some motivational speaking as well.
I do, yeah.
So I know doing some research on you, I saw that you speak on bullying, LGBTQIA plus identity, and defying norms, right? So what's the kind of message that you put out there that even like you wish somebody like you heard as a kid? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was always about, I always got bullied. You were never enough. You're only meant to do this. People like you don't get these opportunities. And so what I teach young athletes, women in business, LGBTQ groups, kids in foster homes, I teach them, why not you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why not you? You always say, well, that stuff's not for me. What if it is? I used to say the same thing. Coming from the west side of San Antonio, coming from a very conservative Hispanic household, why not me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the total opposite of what my parents or anybody expected me to be. And I wish I had someone that looked like me, short hair, somebody that just spoke direct to me like, everything you want, everything you need, it's all right here.
Right.
You just, I guess, need permission to put it out there.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that I'm hearing a lot about is the imposter syndrome. Nah, man, you belong in that room. Matter of fact, I tell these kids, like, people need more of you. Regardless of what's happening in the world, in politics, whatever it is, the world needs more of you. You know, the world needs more of your talent, of your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, because that's how we get better versus doing the same thing every day, year after year.
Okay. So I know you're super open about your story, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you know, it's definitely a show of vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
How do you balance that though? Like how do you balance that, you know, open vulnerability with like also, you know, you're also building a public brand at the same time. Like how do you like walk that tightrope?
Yeah. I gave myself permission to just be real and be raw. You know, when you think about it, when you look on social media, when you look at stuff on TV, people have gotten to a point where they're tired of the fakeness, of the influencer stuff. People want raw realness, real talk. And I've given myself permission to do that. Now, granted, yes, you know, there's certain stories that I prefer to keep private. But at the same time, if I'm not real with people, you know what I'm saying, then am I really being true to myself?
Right.
You know what I mean? So in every setting that I go to, I always ask for permission. Like, how deep can I go with my story? If I'm talking to girls at an alternative school, if I'm talking to girls, you know, in a foster place, I'm talking to students, athletes, like, how deep can I go with my story? You know what I mean? But it's always about being real. I can't just walk in there and be like, you're great.
Right.
Give it all you. Just say no, kids. Like, that stuff's for the birds. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. So what's one story that like always lands every time that, you know, you come through with it, like no matter the crowd, no matter the demographic, one story that, you know, everybody kind of latches on to you?
Yeah. I shared this story about when I was a boxer. I was at the height of my amateur boxing career and I broke my back and it put me out for 6 years.
Okay.
And it was it was at a point where I was in a very toxic relationship. I didn't have a relationship with my parents because of who I am or who I was. And I felt like everything and everybody was against me. I'm giving you super high level. Right. And it got to a point where it really was heavy on me, to a point where I almost ended it all for myself. But I remember my goddaughter, she lives in Mexico. And at that time that this happened, she was 4. And she latched onto me, and I always try to teach her, like, man, forget what everybody's saying. Like, do you. Like, yeah, let's go play with some G.I. Joes and play with Barbie, you know? Yeah. And I remember I saw her image in my mind, and I said, man, if I leave, what am I teaching her? That when things get hard, you just end it all? So I took it upon myself to do more self-physical therapy, not just relying on a doctor. Like, whatever you want in your life, is at the end of the day, it's up to you. People can only take you so far. So I took it upon myself to train my body, do the extra PT homework on my own. And not only did I come back to boxing, but I became not once, not 2, but 3-time Golden Glove champion.
Hey, there we go.
So that's super high level, but this is something that I share in stages with people that can relate to not only just sports, but in entrepreneurship, girls that are in foster home. Like, what you want out of life, ultimately, it's up to you to get yourself there. Yes, it hurts. Things are going to suck. You're going to trip. You're going to fail. But ultimately, it's up to you to get yourself there. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
Gotcha. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk DJ KICKIT Day.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So May 17th.
May 17th.
Right.
Yeah.
So being proclaimed DJ KICKIT Day. That's a wild experience. Not a lot of people get to have that.
Yeah.
Right. How did that happen, and you know, what did that mean for you?
Man, it's such a blessing. It's crazy when I say that to people that are not from Austin or that don't know. They're like, "You have a whole day named to yourself?" I'm like, I know, like, it's still like, I don't think I'll ever get used to it, you know? Right. But a friend of mine, again, shout out to TK, she reached out to me. She goes, how are you? And I was like, you know, I'm busy, you know, whatever, right? And she was like, I think you need a day. I was like, I think so too. I took that as like, yeah, I need a break.
Yeah,
She was like, no, fool, like, you need your own day in Austin. I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to put you down to see if we can get you a DJ KICKIT Day. And I was like, that exists? She was like, yes. And so I looked it up. I'm like, what does that mean? She was like, I'll get back to you. She got in touch with Councilman Jose Velasquez. Shout out to Jose. And he reached out to me. He said, sis, what day do you want? I'm like, let's do it on my birthday. And he was like, you deserve it. You've done so much. And I was like, what do I need to do? Do I need to pay for a membership? Like, I didn't know how any of this worked. He's like, no, it's just a day that we, the city recognizes you and you do whatever you want with it. I'm like, wow. And so ever since 2023, I make it a point to give back. So the first year of DJ KICKIT, I partnered with Thriftish. I did a shoe drive. I love shoes, but I hollered at everybody and I said, if you have a pair of gently used shoes that are just sitting in your closet, sis, bro, give them here. Because there's people out there that are barefoot that need them. So we ended up collecting about 67 pairs of shoes. The year after that, I partnered with Boss Babes Brunch out of New York, and we ended up doing an all-women's conference. And so I always try to find a way to give back. So stay tuned for KICKIT Day 2026.
Right,
yeah.
So I know, in addition to DJ KICKIT Day, you've also been nominated for major awards before, other major awards.
Yeah.
How do you receive that recognition without letting it define you?
It's how do you say, like, self-gratifying? Is that the word? Okay. Yeah, I love the recognition. I don't do it for the recognition, although it's nice to be recognized. But I got to keep moving forward. And it's not that I'm chasing the next recognition. It's just, oh, man, thank you so much. It's like if you receive a compliment. Thank you so much, man. That means so much. That means I got to go harder. That means I got to keep going. Because it's in those moments, it's funny, it's in those moments where I feel like this, that they're like, you've just been nominated. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing you. I hear you. Okay, noted. So that means I got to go harder. I got to keep going.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so Scratch Theory of Tejas. Right?
Yeah.
The podcast. So talk about what is Scratch Theory really about, and what gap were you trying to fill in the DJ culture when you went ahead and created the podcast?
Yeah. I can't take all the credit for that one. Shout out to my boy Dirty Chris. So Dirty Chris created Scratch Theory of Tejas. He wanted to throw events every month where it's just a bunch of DJs get together and they just scratch. And even if you don't know how to scratch, come through, we'll teach you. And it's leave the ego at the door. Everybody's friendly. This is all community. And then eventually I told him, I said, bro, we should do a podcast and talk all things DJing. And so sure enough, we made, I think, about maybe 10, 11 episodes. Took a little break. And we're starting to come back. We're starting to come back. And and like I said, we talk everything from weddings, from changes in like tech, in the equipment that we use, taking a break. Like, we talk all things DJ. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So okay. So what's a hot topic in the DJ community that right now that everyday listeners don't really realize?
So I'm happy to announce that I will be starting my own YouTube channel, and this is something that I want to talk about. Is I want to speak to the DJs and teaching them how to scale their business. I'm not the most successful DJ, but I am successful. I'm blessed to say that, and I want to teach that to other people. And so if the general public sees this is behind the curtain type of stuff, is all the work that goes into DJing. Common misconception is we show up, we press buttons, we play, and we call it a day. I've gotten jokes like, yeah, well, you just stand there and play music. No, fam. Have you ever been mentally exhausted? Have you ever been socially exhausted? And then I'm bringing equipment, and then I'm also having to coordinate and do multitasking and stuff. It's a lot of work. We just, the people that have done it the most, we make it look easy. And that's the professionalism part of it. So in my new channel that I'll be launching this year, I'll be teaching DJs how to scale their business, how to show up, take up space. And what does that mean? Like women, LGBTQ, or even beginner DJs. Like, how do you show up without shrinking yourself? How to price things. How to not say yes to every single gig. I'm teaching them all that.
Right. We got a ETA on that?
We're probably looking at it within the next couple of months. Definitely spring 2026.
Spring 2026. Hey, y'all heard her first. Let's lock in. Be ready.
Lock in.
There we go. Yes. Okay, so outside of DJing, you also have a book.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's out now.
Beat the Odds.
Beat the Odds.
Right?
It is out.
Talk about the story about the creation of Beat the Odds. What prompted you to be like, hey, I want to write a book.
Yeah.
And then what's the reception been like since it came out?
I've been told you should write a book. And I'm like, yeah, well, what could it be about you? And I'm like, nobody wants to hear my story. Like, how is this going to be a New York bestseller, right?
Yeah.
And I pocketed that idea. I was like, cool, thank you. I'll consider it, leave it alone. Well, I speak to different schools around the country with 2 groups, Top School Speakers and 360 Athletics. And both of the CEOs, they have their own books. And so one of them said, you know, this keynote that you always give, you should really turn this into a book. And I'm like, you think so? And so more and more seeds started getting planted. I was like, you know what, fine. And initially, I wanted to write this book for high schoolers. But as I started writing it, I'm like, no, women can get something out of this. Yeah. DJs for sure, creatives, entrepreneurs. So within, I want to say 8 months, I got it done. And it is out now on Amazon ebook. And the paperback is out. I am actually going to be receiving paperback copies. I wish I would have brought you a copy today, but they'll be coming in within this month. And January 26th, this is Sunday.
Gotcha.
I'm doing a book launch party and book signing.
There we go.
So y'all pull up.
Right,
I'm gonna have DJ Z Rock mixing all the things.
There we go.
My girl, award-winning journalist Leslie Rangel. She's a former anchor at Fox 7 Austin. She's gonna be moderating on Artist Talk. So
got it.
It's gonna be a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So
teaching people how to beat the odds. Man.
Right. So side question for you.
Yeah.
Let's talk work-life balance.
Okay.
Right. So you got the book.
Yeah.
You got the podcast. You got gigs. You're balancing the family life. You got the wife. You got the dog. You got all these different things. Or dogs up.
Dogs.
You got all these different things you got to manage. Like what does that look like for you to get some downtime? Like how do you decompress after handling all that?
I'm just kidding. No, you know what I started doing? When I became a full-time entrepreneur, a few years ago, like full-time, like you're out of the corporate world and you got to make this happen. Yeah. I learned the hard way.
Okay.
I started saying yes to every single gig. I was taking everything under the sun. I was rarely home. And then 2 months later, after being laid off and losing my insurance, I broke my toe. Ooh. And I broke my toe and I was out for like maybe 6 to 8 weeks or so. That sat me down.
I bet.
Like, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And I told him my plans and he was like, sit down. And so that right there, I was like, I need to find some type of work-life balance. So every day now going forward, I give myself 4 hours in the morning to myself. Okay. So this is gym time, this is meditation, this is walk the dog time, this is breakfast with my wife. Yeah. And I'm very grateful to have someone in my corner that respects what I do, supports what I do, and I in turn do the same for her, right? And so we're both entrepreneurs and we say, okay, as of this time, it's heads down time. Yeah. And we communicate with each other, like who's going to walk the dogs, who's going to take them out, etc. And so I'm just used to it now. Right. But I make sure that at least those initial 4 hours are just for me. I don't want to hear no barking. I don't want to hear nothing. I just want to hear me, Jay, Tribe, DMX, Biggie in my headphones, go lift some weights. I'll come back and deal with the world later. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's good that you got that work-life balance, because the thing is the better you are, the better you are for everybody else as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's always important. Yeah. You know? Okay, so let's switch gears. Let's talk about the future. Right?
Let's talk about it.
So I know you got all these different projects. We talked about the book. We talked about the podcast, all that stuff, right? What does the future look like for you? Like, we just hit 2026. Are we looking at like, you know, more TV, more touring, more speaking, more community work? What does that look like?
Yeah, all of it. How? Okay. I don't know. Okay. You know, I take it day by day, but I also plan a lot. That I set up goals for myself, but I don't do it in a yearly fashion. I do it in a quarterly fashion. So what are some things I want to accomplish this quarter? Gotcha. The YouTube channel. Right. I want to focus on my book launch this month. But another thing that I'm actually working on is coaching. Coaching in the sense of coaching business owners, coaching specifically DJs. So through the YouTube channel, I'll also be offering mentorship programs. Okay. You know, mentorship, mastermind type of stuff. And so all of that is in the work. This is something I want to launch by 2026. Will I have a big DJ KICKIT conference and stuff like that? No, I'm not there yet. Okay. But eventually that's where I want to go to, is start coaching DJs and teaching them things that I wish I would have learned. I'm in different Facebook groups where I'm hearing the problems that are coming up, and I'm hearing DJs trashing each other. I'm like, yo, we need a safe space where you can ask these questions and not get laughed at. You know what I'm saying? So that's something big on my radar. And yes, pitching myself to more TV stuff, traveling more, speaking to more kids. I plan on going back to Washington State, Oregon, a bunch of other places to go talk to these kids because, man, more than ever, we all need some help.
Yes.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So I'm curious though, right? Like, do you plan on doing all these different things? Is that going to be like done in Austin long term, or you just like you going to be in Austin for like another year or so? Like, what are your plans with that? Like, do you plan on like kind of planting some roots here?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like we have a home here in Austin, and we're blessed to call Austin home.
Okay.
I will say there is something about Atlanta. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Every time I DJ somewhere, I always meet somebody from Atlanta.
Yeah.
We click on style, and I get invited to go DJ out there.
Gotcha.
It has yet to happen, but it's gonna happen. I'm putting it out there. It's gonna happen. I have a few connects out there. I'm not saying I'm moving, but I don't know. But for right now, Austin's home. I'm not going anywhere.
For now, we can live with that.
I don't plan on going anywhere. I love Austin. Austin is home. So, but Atlanta's like, psst,
right.
and I'm like, stop. Wait. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But Austin is home, man.
Okay.
I love it here.
Okay.
I love it here.
Okay. So before we wrap up, we got the final question of the night, right? And we actually talked about this off air. We asked this question to everybody that comes on the podcast, right?
Okay.
So, you got a chance to be here. We had a, chop it up, good vibes, good conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So with all that said, who do you think would be a good guest on the podcast? But now, before you answer that question, though, it has to be somebody in your phone and your contacts.
Yeah.
You can, hit them up, be like, hey, I pulled up on a 2-hour lunch break.
Yeah.
You got to come through. Who would that person or people be? It's no limit. You can list as many as you want.
Okay.
You can list as few as you want.
Okay. I feel like, what is it, that MySpace era where you have your top 5
right,
people?
Yeah.
You're like, why didn't I make the top 5? Now I'm like, oh, man. Two DJs that came to mind right off the rip. DJ Zetrock. Oh my God, he needs to be on here. It wasn't until we traveled together to Eagle Pass to do a show a few years back that like I'm right here with them musically. Like hip hop, funk, we're right there. But when we really had a deep conversation on hip hop history, I'm like, dude, you're like my twin, my music twin. Right. So he needs to be on here. Chorizo Funk, Body Rock ATX, man, he has to be on here as well. Amazing DJ, music selector. He has to be on here. For the ladies, DJ Helio, she's another amazing DJ, as well as Monica Maldonado. Monica is not a DJ, but she is very active in the art space here in Austin, Texas, especially in the Latino community. Definitely one to have on the show.
Gotcha.
So many others I could tell you, but I'll just say those, and y'all don't kill me. Please charge it to the head, not the heart.
Gotcha. Man. I'm with it. Hey, y'all heard her first, man. Hey, we need to lock that in ASAP.
Yeah.
All for it, y'all.
Word.
So I was gonna say, before we wrap up, let's plug your social media handles.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you, and where can everybody book you?
Word. Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, DJ KICKIT 17 like DJ KICKIT Day. So DJ KICKIT 17, same thing on TikTok. I'm starting to grow that. Website where you can book me, djkickit.com. Hit me up there. Look at all the stuff that I've done. Let's chop it up. Let's see how I can help you and bring that energy to your place, man.
Hey, y'all
let's do it.
Y'all tap in. All right, man. Well, that wraps up this edition of the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast, man. Once again, shout out to the homie DJ KICKIT for taking time out to kick it with us. Shout out to our production behind the boards. Everett, you can find him on Instagram at Cafe Yodo. New episodes of the 2-Hour Lunch Break are streaming on all DSPs every Thursday, and you can find us on Instagram and X at 2HLB Pod. Thank you for tuning in. We out. Hey.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.